Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers in Taiwan help the victims of a recent household fire in Gongliao District near Taipei City. Next, we learn more about Tzu Chi's recycling mission and how it has benefited Taiwan's environment. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. We start today's program in Taiwan. Last Sunday at around 10 a.m., a fire broke out in Gongliao District near Taipei City. The massive fire torched 4 buildings in the community. Upon learning of the tragedy, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived to assess the damage and brought consolation cash and a few relief supplies for the fire victims.
In Gongliao, New Taipei City, Tzu Chi volunteers are addressing the needs of the victims of a recent fire.
2间房间都烧掉了，
全部都毁了，家当都沉在里面了啊。
Charred debris is all that was left of the wooden interior on the second floor. With the roof and wooden beam collapsed, rain has found its way inside.
I'm very grateful to Tzu Chi sisters for offering their support. Through this experience, I feel that Taiwan is still full of compassionate people.
Soon after, we were notified of the fire. We mobilized our brothers and sisters. We quickly arrived with consolation cash and blankets for the victims.
The fire on the morning of March 22nd destroyed 4 two-story homes. Volunteers from both Taipei and Keelung came together to support the victims. The massive fire left no time for the victims to take or save any of their clothing. Thus, volunteers quickly donated clothes on their behalf.
When they told me that both adults and children do not have clothing to wear, I immediately asked our members and volunteers to donate clothes to help the fire victims.
My house is in a mess. I really don't know what to do.
Despite the rain, the fire victims continue to clean up their homes during the day and stay with their relatives at night, hoping that district office will assist them as soon as possible.
Moving our focus to Indonesia, the medical volunteers of TIMA pay regular visits to the residents of No. 1 Tengkaren DaAi village. And on March 22nd, they once again visited the village to bring free health checks and important health education information. First, however, we traveled to northern Jakarta, where TIMA volunteers, in cooperation with a local Catholic charity, offer free dental services on behalf of the area's poor and needy. Children watch in rapt attention as the TIMA doctor explains to them how to best care for their teeth.
We have to get their attention, so just now we use a model of a tooth to better keep them engaged. Once we have their attention, we will show them how to brush and care for their teeth.
Today's free dental clinic is being held in Jakarta's relatively poor Cilincing district. Residents here often have to live with their ailments for long periods, such as Carissa, who suffered from a toothache for over a year.
Before, I went to the community health center to get a filling, but I didn't do any follow-up. As today's clinic is free, I quickly signed up to get my cavity taken care of.
On this day, TIMA's love was also to be found in Tengkaren DaAi village. Here, TIMA volunteers had a free clinic to address degenerative diseases on behalf of the village's 40 and over population.
Sometimes, because we are too busy, we will forget to take care of our health. This Tzu Chi clinic is a reminder for all of us to pay better attention to our bodies.
As residents undergo health checks, doctors and volunteers are there to teach them ways to keep sickness and diseases at bay.
We recommend that with every meal, they make sure to eat enough vegetables and fruit. This will ensure they are getting enough vitamins, which will help them stave off sickness.
Living a healthy life and eating rye with less oil, salt, and sugar, we can prevent the onset of disease. We hope residents here can take this lesson to heart.
In the battle against sickness and disease, education is half the battle. And today, here at the DaAi village in Tengkaren, that battle has been won. Continuing in Jakarta, Indonesia, persistent rainfall during the country's monsoon season often leads to flooding. Recently, the Indonesian military has taken steps to clean up the Ciliwung River, which floods every year as a result of silting and waste blocking its waterways. With their abundant experience in relief efforts, Tzu Chi volunteers were also on hand to prepare a total of 900 meals for the cleanup crew.
Indonesian military's motorboats continue to search for the root cause of Ciliwung River's flooding. Ciliwung River is one of the 13 rivers passing through Jakarta. Due to silting and residents dumping waste into the river, during monsoon season, the river often floods. To help battle this problem, the Indonesian military has taken steps to clean up the river.
Pertama, kita menginginkan Ciliwung.
First of all, I hope Ciliwung River can be restored to its original cleanness from the dirty river it is now. Secondly, we want to make our dream into reality and set up a trail along the river, along which residents can jog in the morning. We also have some other plans.
Ada area memancing dan tempat hiburan lainnya sepanjang bantaran Ciliwung.
The military invited policemen, firefighters, and specialists from the Department of Health Bureau to help with the cleanup effort. While Tzu Chi volunteers prepare a total of 900 meals for the cleanup crews.
We hope the Indonesian military can finish the cleanup accordingly, and that the residents here will do their best to maintain the river, thus preventing future floods as well as creating a suitable environment for fish.
In the future, education on environmental awareness will help ensure the residents can be free from the future floodings.
Since 2010, Tzu Chi volunteers in the Philippines have been visiting elementary schools to offer recent graduates an English dictionary. Recently, they brought dictionaries to 796 students in an elementary school in Quezon City, and also took the opportunity to teach the graduates to cherish what they have and be grateful.
In this elementary school in Quezon City, the Philippines, Tzu Chi volunteers are here with an English dictionary for each new graduate. Every class has come up with their own way to thank their teachers. After laughter and cheers, the students get emotional. Encouraged by the volunteers, the graduates express their gratitude through a thank you card and a cup of tea.
I am truly surprised that Tzu Chi's tea offering ceremony can move me so much. I will truly miss them after they graduate. I've never thought that they would be this important to me.
Malaking bagay po ito sa pag-high school ko po.
I will be attending middle school now. The English dictionary is very meaningful to me. It can help me learn English.
Every dictionary is full of the volunteers' love and well wishes. May the graduates continue to advance themselves while cherishing what they have.
For the past 3 years, students from Taichung's Chaoyang University of Technology's Social Work Department have been using time outside of class to pick up uneaten meals in the city's schools, which they then deliver to poor families and seniors in need. The students' arrival is always a high point for their recipients, as they bring not only food, but the warmth of companionship.
With lunch over at this middle school, students from the Social Work Department of Chaoyang University of Technology are here to make good use of the leftovers.
放在这里哦。还有饭吗？
The leftovers are first divided into different bags before being sent over to a nearby church.
We will first open the bags to allow them to cool off so that they don't go bad.
The students next divide the leftovers according to consistencies and spiciness, with softer and blender foods saved for the seniors on their route.
This is for one of the grandmothers. She doesn't have teeth, so we need to give her softer and less spicy selections, like tofu and cooked vegetables.
Soon after, the student's first recipient comes to pick up his food. Surrounded by the youthful energy of the students, this grandfather is soon all smiles.
This work makes me happy. Seeing him happy, we are ourselves happy.
Seeing their happiness motivates us to continue this work.
For those seniors unable to make it to the church to pick up their food, the students bring it to them.
The last 2 days have been a bit colder. Try to wear a bit more. You are wearing 3 layers? Your hands are warmer.
Every week, these students would come visit this 91-year-old solitary senior with food and companionship.
We try to give her a feeling of friendship to remind her she is not alone. Although it is only a small thing, it helps.
For the past 3 years, these students from Chaoyang University of Technology have been using their spare time to ensure that those often forgotten by society can enjoy a full stomach and the warmth of friendship and love.
Tzu Chi first launched its environmental mission 25 years ago. At the time, only the government and Tzu Chi collected recyclables. But now, as more and more citizens have realized the benefits of recycling, the country's recycling volume has grown exponentially. Here is more in our report. Back in the 90s, much of Taiwan still didn't know much about recycling. However, data from the EPA shows that between 1998 and 2014, Taiwan's recycling volume grew 26-fold. In the beginning, there was only Tzu Chi and local waste management services. Now even communities and schools are getting involved.
Because of this, many businesses began investing in resource reclamation, and we have clear figures to support this. We are grateful that Taiwan's recycling ratio is so high. It's nearly 45%.
During the financial crisis of 2008, the price of recyclables tanked, and recycling companies refused to accept recyclables. Despite this, Tzu Chi's environmental mission continued on uninterrupted.
I come here at about 7 in the morning.
We won't choose which recyclables to collect based on the price they can fetch. The goal is to simply make the best out of the available resources. If no one wants to collect certain recyclables, then we will focus even more on such items.
As people become more environmentally conscious, recycling yards are opening up everywhere, with aluminum cans, metal scrap, iron, and copper being top earners. Yet, according to data collected by Tzu Chi in 2014, aluminum cans were only 1.59% of the organization's recycling total, while scrap metal did not even make up 1%.
This shows that we do not compete with others for the higher-priced items. Only those that others don't collect end up with us. Citizens typically take the higher-value items.
Tzu Chi's 329 recycling stations in Taiwan are manned by some 80,000 recycling volunteers who happily help process more than a dozen categories of recyclables, including the unpopular plastic bags.
These are among the 5 major categories. We have PP, PE, colored PE, washed PE, and one more here. It's for our own health and for planet Earth. By coming here, so many are having a good time contributing themselves. Items that can be reused should be sold and reused.
Once Tzu Chi was responsible for 30% of Taiwan's recyclables, but now the number is down to 3%. Taiwan's recycling efforts have drawn the world's attention. Though the number of recyclables collected by Tzu Chi has plateaued, the growing number of recyclables collected nationwide shows that more people are now willing to recycle for the environment. Continuing on our topic of environmental protection, Tzu Chi's recycling stations serve not only as a place where recyclables can be taken, but an education center as well. Recently, students from Taiwan and Malaysia visited their respective recycling stations to learn more about sorting and categorizing recyclables and how they can apply these lessons in their daily life. In Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, at the Tzu Chi recycling station, which was established 4 years ago, special guests have joined the volunteers at this month's Recycling Day.
Her ideal on environmental conservation is in line with ours, so she has brought her students to come to get some hands-on practice.
Maybe the students have heard about recyclables on TV or on the radio, but they haven't had actually experience in sorting them. I've brought my students to learn more about these recycling practices.
With the religious school on a long holiday, teachers Fazura and Rosalind has brought their 14 students to the Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur recycling station to learn more about recyclables.
As teachers, we're also the students' role models. Before we ask them to practice recycling at home, we need to know how to do so ourselves. This is why we can set a better example for them to follow.
I've learned that there are many categories to separate the recyclables into. Paper and this can be recycled for money and help save the planet at the same time. In the future, I will ask the school to see if they will let students come to the recycling station to help Tzu Chi.
In the aftermath of the flooding just a couple of months ago, Malaysians realized the need to protect the planet and that society is filled with warmth and love.
After the flood, Tzu Chi came to our school to help us clean up. The school and the community were also brought closer together. This connection has also improved the relationship between non-Malay citizens and us. Now I think we are all filled with a patriotic spirit.
An alliance formed out of a flood disaster. Muslims and Buddhists now stand together to work towards saving the planet for the next generation. Meanwhile, in Taiwan, Deling Institute of Technology's latest humanities course is moved to the Tzu Chi recycling station in Tuchen's Dingpu, where volunteers educate the visitors about what's recyclable and what's not.
This is compound packaging. Why is it called compound? Because there are two types of materials. As you can see by the open bag, we don't recycle this.
Students learn that most chip bags are not recyclable. However, what types of plastic bags can be recycled?
Plastic bags, clean plastic bags can be recycled. Also, those protective fruit sleeves can be recycled too. Paper lunch boxes can be recycled as well.
The young students from Deling learn to actualize these lessons in their daily life.
I can protect the environment by purchasing fewer beverages that use one-time cups and use less plastic bags. When I go to stores, I can bring my own shopping bags to reduce plastic trash.
We should sort recyclables in our daily lives. We can also take public transportation to lessen our carbon footprint.
Getting hands-on experience in sorting recyclables, students from Malaysia to Taiwan are now able to spread conservation ideals far and wide. Liu Wencheng's life was turned upside down at the age of 30 following a horrific car accident. Losing his memory, mobility, and vision, Liu shut the world out. Thankfully, his wife did not give up on him, and along with the companionship of Tzu Chi volunteers, Liu has slowly regained his mobility and rebuilt his confidence. He now even joined the ranks of Tzu Chi volunteers to help others in need. Opening his toolbox and putting on his gloves, Liu Wencheng is about to sort recyclables at the recycling station. 14 years ago, when Liu was 30, he was involved in a terrible car accident that left him bedridden. Though his condition has improved, he still suffers from speech and mental impediments.
He would say, "I can't speak so well," and I will reply, "It doesn't matter. Speak freely to us. There are many Tzu Chi volunteers here who will talk with you." Now his communication skills are much better. At first, he was scared to talk to us.
This journey of recovery hasn't been easy for Liu, but looking to give back to society for the help he received along the way, Liu has returned to the hospital, this time to be a volunteer.
Sometimes I have to go to the 10th floor. Sometimes it's the 8th floor. And others, it's the 5th floor to deliver patient files.
这样脚会不会酸？
No, I'm happy to be walking about.
Focused on the tasks ahead, each step Liu takes as he delivers the patient files is one that is filled with gratitude and blessings. We have an update on the formerly conjoined twins, Jenilyn and Jerilyn of the Philippines, following a successful operation on March 22nd at the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital. Some of the girls' stitches were removed. Furthermore, with the assistance of Tzu Chi volunteers, the twins also got the chance to greet their father back in the Philippines with a video conference call. Let's take a look at the happy reunion.
Through a video conferencing call, the father of formerly conjoined twins Jenilyn and Jerilyn can finally see his precious daughters. Upon seeing his daughters now living happily and freely as individuals, the father can no longer hold back his tears.
The twins' father was overwhelmed with joy. He just kept on crying.
The twins' mother, Ludi de Guzman, also seized the chance to share with her husband the love and support she has received in Taiwan over the past 2 months.
Guzman told her husband that the surgery went really smoothly. She also told him that everyone in Taiwan treats them nicely, just like family.
I want to remove the stitch and also check the wound.
On March 13th, conjoined twins Jenilyn and Jerilyn were successfully separated. Despite the large wounds on their bodies, the attentive care of the medical personnel has speeded up the twins' recovery. Today's surgery department director Li Mingzhe is here at the twins' hospital ward to remove some of the stitches on their bodies.
The twins are doing well, so we are here to remove some of the stitches. Jenny Lin and Jerry Lin tend to move around a lot, so it is safer for us to remove a few stitches at a time.
No problem. And Friday, I will remove all the stitches. Okay?
Thank you.
After removing all the stitches, the twins will continue their rehabilitation in learning how to walk. According to doctors, if the twins' condition continues to improve, they'll be ready to go home in April.
Tzu Chi volunteers of the Texas chapter recently celebrated their 24th birthday by holding a charity sale where the funds raised went towards the chapter's charity and construction funds. Volunteers also taught local residents about how small amounts of money can accumulate and do great things. We will leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.